So, if you guys are anything like me, you are a huge Bruce Lee fan. I know when I was younger, my dad used to play all of his movies in our house, as well as many other martial arts movies. It was his stuff, it was The Drunken Master, and then anything else that would just filter in. So, I loved martial arts, loved Bruce Lee. He was one of my big inspirations when it came to wanting to do martial arts myself as I got older. And when I read about his lifestyle and his philosophy, he really had so much to contribute in the field of fitness and exercise. Obviously, what set him apart from so many other people in that time was the fact that he was so athletic. He moved so quickly. As a matter of fact, he moved so quickly that the directors, they would always have to instruct him to slow down because his movements were just too fast. And one thing that I thought was interesting when I was just reading up on his fitness routine was one of his quotes where he says that you never want to train so much that you're not prepared for combat the next day. And the more I thought about that, the more I thought it just rang true for fitness and bodybuilding in general. A lot of times we have this mindset that if a little bit of something is good, then a lot of something is great. So what people will do, especially when they're first starting out, is they'll just go in the gym and try to kill themselves. They'll keep going. They'll do as many sets, as many reps as possible. And what they're actually chasing isn't a good workout, although you will get one through this process. But what most people are really chasing is this feeling of being completely sore. They'll feel that the more sore that they are, the less that they're able to move the next day, the more that they actually accomplished in the gym. And you could get away with a little bit of that when you're younger. I know in my younger 20s, when I used to work out and personal trainers would take me through routines, I think actually they would try to kill me so that they would think that they were efficient trainers. And that's something that trainers do a lot. So that's just a side note. Trainers will push you beyond what's even necessary for a good workout because they know that if you're not that well versed in exercise and fitness, you're going to correlate your pain and your soreness to a good workout and you're going to attribute it to them, which is something that I definitely experienced. They would take me through workouts where I couldn't lift my arm for a week without feeling the soreness. I couldn't drive my car without feeling the soreness. But as you grow and you mature, you understand that it's actually so much more about being efficient. It's so much more about quality over quantity. Nowadays, I would never push myself to that limit. What I try to do is just understand that you want to go in, have a good workout, and you could push your limits without having to increase the volume to the point where you won't want to go back to the gym for a few days, or you may not want to go back to the gym even for a week. It's about lifting as heavy as you can and then pushing it a little bit further than you did last time. So when I'm doing my sets, essentially what I'll try to do is just make sure that I include one that is at the most amount of weight that I can lift comfortably for that day. Now, I know a lot of people are thinking, wait a second, you're supposed to always be increasing the volume. And typically I'll do, but we don't always feel the same way when we go in the gym as we did last time. And I think we need to be more honest and open about that because we're just constantly pushing people to go harder and harder and harder. And that's going to have diminishing returns if they're not being compassionate with themselves and not non-judgmental with themselves based on where they're at that moment. So if I could do my PR for that time, that's great. If I got to come in a little bit under, that's fine too. As long as I'm trying to do it as heavy as I can for that day for one or two sets, then I feel comfortable. Then I know that at least I pushed my muscles to their limit in that time, and then I could decrease it and I'll just do my normal amount of sets. Maybe it's three, maybe it's four, it's somewhere in that range. But the whole point is to push yourself by lifting heavier, not push yourself by doing more and more volume. If you do more and more volume, yes, you are breaking those muscles down, but you're breaking them down more than they even need to be in order for you to build muscle and in order for you to gain strength. It's just about being as smart and efficient as possible. And I'll know, just like I told you about my experience with personal trainers, if you're new to working out, or you're working with somebody who's new to working out, one of the worst things you could actually do is to completely tear them down where they're so sore they can't get out of a chair without feeling pain. They can't put their hands over their head without feeling pain. Because what happens is, if you're more experienced, you may be able to turn around in 1 or 2 days and work out again. A new person won't be able to work out again for another week. And that feeling is so uncomfortable for them that they're going to want to avoid it. They're just not going to want to go to the gym at all. So we're sticking with Bruce Lee on this one. You don't want to work out so much that you're not ready for combat the next day. And in our lives, let's just call combat life. We're not ready to get up, get out of bed, move around, do what we have to do, go to work, take care of our children, take care of our animals, whatever it is that's our everyday life. That's our combat, right? Because sometimes life is difficult, and sometimes that difficulty is just in our everyday activities. So don't beat yourself up. Don't push yourself in your workouts beyond your comfort zone for your day to day activities. That way, you're prepared for not only the day, but your next workout as well.